Excited?
Not really.
Oh, dude, I just realized the show I'm gonna miss is the Labor Day preview.
Oh boy, Matt, we're
Yeah.
gonna need you for that one. Can't miss Labor Day.
No, it's okay.
All
I'll
right,
make
we're
those.
live. We're good here.
We're live.
We will
I'm
be.
calling bullshit. Yeah.
You can call
No,
bullshit, but you'll see all
I'm
this, and you say this
I'm
every
kidding.
week.
I'm kidding. I see it right here. Matthew sounded sexy as ever. We're all good to go. Hi everyone, my name is Dylan. Welcome back to Canada Gridiron. This is Week 12 coverage. I'll let these potatoes introduce themselves.
I'm potato number one, Kyle.
Luke
I'm
Wilson's
potato
favorite.
number 2, Matt Boyley.
Potato 3, Kobe.
Wait, what potato am I then?
0.
Oh, sweet. I like
Like
that
the
number.
amount of tight ends on the field in the CFL.
The amount of Super Bowl rings Kyle has.
It's all about Grey Cups.
Oh yeah. We will be recapping week 11. We will be previewing the one story we were able to find this week, and we will be previewing the week 12 games in this episode. And let's start off with the first game of last week, which was BC and Calgary. It was a tight contested game until the end when Josh Love threw a pick on the goal line down 4 with roughly like 12 seconds left. BC won 30-26. Is BC now the favorite for third in the West? Start with you, Kyle.
Well, I mean, arguably Calgary still does win the game, if they have Vern there at the end, but I mean, they're definitely coming on way stronger. That win they got with Caden Salter is going to be. You may look back on that at the end of the season and be like, that one game they just bought there is like meant everything. But they definitely are back in the mix. They're very competitive. I think really the problem was just health the entire time. So now that they kind of are getting guys back and everything, and Rourke's been able to start, got all his weapons back and everything. They definitely look like a stronger team, especially making that running back switch as well. So, um, yeah, I'd say they're pretty scary. They probably are favorites for third.
Matthew, I know you're just agreeing with that take.
No, yeah, I'm just so great about that. I think both teams are like, I mean, like you said, like if they have VA, they could have won there, but I think it's pretty 50-50 between them right now. As for Winnipeg, I don't know if they're quite out of the mix yet, but I don't know. I'd say that all three of them are pretty much on the same level if I had to throw out my opinion in there. But I would say, yeah, they are the favorites right now.
Colby?
I think definitely yes. Calgary is kind of doing looks like they're going to do their annual mid-season slide sort of thing. Winnipeg has never really looked that good all season. And then BC has had like a lot of injuries, and now as soon as they're getting their guys back, now they're winning games. They should still be able to easily get to I would say like 10 wins on the season, which should easily be enough for third.
I got nothing to say. I agree. I know you're not used to that. But can Calgary survive with Josh Love if Vernon Adams is out long term? We won't know anything this week because Calgary is on bye, so we're not getting any updates about Vernon's health, who's practicing. But if it is Josh Love for the foreseeable future, can Calgary survive?
I mean, I'm sorry they can't survive, and I'll tell you why. Vernon Adams threw 21 picks to 0 interceptions to start the season, and they basically had a 500 record. So I'm sorry. If you're putting up those numbers and you're still 500, then you're probably in the tube with a backup QB.
Matthew?
I was about to say that I think they won't be terrible off, but now that you put that in the mix, yeah, that is kind of a hard argument to make. So I might have to agree with Kyle actually there.
Colby?
I think they're pretty cooked. Is kind of felt like Vernon Adams was sort of like their whole their whole offense basically. Uh, and I mean like if you are only winning 4 games in the first half of the season. Like Josh Love is not anywhere close to Vernon Adams. They might like randomly run into like one win, but like it's not going to be a good spot for them if they have to sit Vern for like 2-3 weeks.
You know how when you're watching one of those backup quarterbacks that's eventually going to become a starter, like Davis Alexander, Chad Kelly, Cody Fajardo, you can kind of tell the first time they get the chance to touch the field that they just have something that these other quarterbacks don't. Like I remember Davis Alexander's first game because it was against Saskatchewan, or I guess I don't think it was, but it was when he first got his chance to prove himself. Saskatchewan had like a 17-0 lead at halftime, and he scores a touchdown on the first 3 drives of the game and comes back and wins Montreal the game. I could tell right there he definitely has something a lot of these backup quarterbacks don't. Cody Fajardo threw like 400 yards and 4 touchdowns in his first start. And I can say this right now, I didn't see any of that in Josh Love. He had a chance to prove himself in the game there. He had a chance to go and get a big win for Calgary, game-winning drive, something you always dream about doing. And what does he do? On the goal line, he throws a pick to Unk. Like, he blew his chance there, and he might get another chance to start, but I just didn't see any of that stuff that I saw in like a Davis Alexander, Chad Kelly, Cody Fajardo type of arc up. Moving on to the next game of the week, unfortunately, to everyone here. Ottawa went to Winnipeg, and color me shocked, but Ottawa lost. Barely, even though they lost by 12. The score was 33-21. I gotta say this is Winnipeg frauds. Start with you, Matthew.
No, I think, you know, I do think we're a lot worse than I actually did think. But I mean, this year I feel like everything's so close at the moment that it really is anybody's spot for third in the West. So yeah, we're frauds if you're gonna say like we're not pulling first or second. But I've been saying that since the week one. I never thought we were gonna be in that position. But as for, are we gonna be dead last? No, it's not gonna happen. I wouldn't put my money on it. Yeah.
We're saving that clip.
Yeah, please do.
It will be replayed when Winnipeg finishes 5th in the West.
Well, I mean, if you can talk big game about it, but I mean, look, they haven't looked that impressive at all. They've been playing QBs all over the board here. They got, what do they got? 5 wins. We're getting into a situation here where if they could somehow beat Sask twice in 2 weeks, they're right up there at the top. And you can laugh, but it's totally possible. So, I mean, they're far from like out of the mix. Like, I don't know. I have to put belief in teams that look like garbage and still have 5 wins. Like, I don't know. I mean, they're not against the most impressive opponents, but I can't really say they're frauds. Like,
Word for word.
What the? They're not beating Sats twice. Like, I'll
they're-
give them that they might take
I
a
mean,
Banjo Bowl.
they're
They are
probably
not,
not, but hey, it is
and I'll
possible.
say this. I'll say this. Do I expect the Riders are just going to blow them out Labor Day? No, I think it's going to be one of those thriller games. It's going to come down to the end, but I do think the Riders will win that game. The Banjo Bowl could go either way. We don't do good in the Banjo Bowl, but Winnipeg is not beating us twice.
Great
No.
analysis as you tell me how both games are winnable games for the Bombers.
I did not say they were winnable. I said they'll
You
be
said Labor
close.
Day will be close, and we always do bad in the Banjo Bowl. So there you go.
I'll say they might win the
Good luck
Banjo
with
Bowl.
it.
They might win the Banjo Bowl. I'm not saying we're going to sweep them. I'm not saying we're going to sweep. We might. I'm not saying we will. But I'm confident they won't sweep us. I'm very confident we will win at least Labor Day.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, come back to this clip when it happens.
Okay. Let's get Colby a chance to talk here. He's watching us all yap about this stuff.
I honestly I don't know what Kyle's talking about because 5 wins, not playing well. 2 of those wins were against Ottawa. One of them was against Jake Dolegala and Trey Ford. And then also you have to remember that they lost by
Hold up,
22 to
hold up.
Calgary.
You're coming from the same fan base, and I'm not saying anything, but you also just lost to Trey Ford.
We've always lost to Trey Ford.
You lost to Trey Ford. So
Hey.
every single argument that you have here, and you can only
We
play the
also-
teams in front of you. Ottawa's 0-9 anyways, so like you can only
Trey
play
Ford
who
is
you
our-
got in front of you.
We
Trey
also
Ford is our
beat
weakness.
Calgary.
We all know that.
We also beat Calgary, who beat Winnipeg by 22. I mean, like Winnipeg is just look like crap. And like their wins have been against not great teams. Like they haven't played Montreal yet. They lost to Edmonton once. They lost to Calgary by a lot. Like they're what is their record? 5-4 or something?
Dude, they had
They're-
almost 400 rushing yards allowed against a backup quarterback and backup running back.
Yeah,
Like,
and they got
I did.
they got
That is
obliterated
that
by
game.
a third stringer. They got obliterated by a third stringer making his first start ever.
400
So,
rushing
like,
It
yards.
happens.
Diabolical. It does not
It
happen.
It does happen.
Might have a bad
no, it
game,
doesn't.
200. 400 is diabolical. That
Can you-
is
can
a
you
good
find me-
passing
can you-
game.
Can you find me some evidence that that's happened before? Like
It probably
any time in the
has,
last recent?
but not very often. Like, very rarely has that happened.
Like he says it like it happens like every year, like it just happens.
No, I'm not saying it like that. But like sometimes you go and play the Calgary Stampeders, and Vernon Adams throws 6 touchdowns on you, and a guy has a game of his life, and you're like, shit, it happens,
I
man.
think
Like, what are you gonna do?
touchdowns-
Like sometimes you're just
Does it?
unstoppable. Like,
I
It
think
doesn't
7
happen though, because Vernon Adams doesn't throw 6 touchdowns.
yeah, no, exactly. But I'm saying shit happens. Like, you know, it just happens. Like you're gonna run into
Okay,
these
but
random.
that's not an excuse to make the Bombers sound better than they actually are.
Okay,
Like,
well,
that could have
I mean,
happened to
I'm
any
just
team.
okay. Like, I'm just saying this: that you only got
I
one
think
more win than the Bombers.
argument between everyone besides Matthew.
You only got one more win
I-
than the Bombers, dude. Like,
I-
it's not crazy to say they
Yeah.
could beat you
More
twice.
wins. If we have one more win than them at the end of the season, we get a host of playoff
We've
game.
also-
and
No,
they
but
don't.
I'm just saying you're acting so head and shoulders above them. Like, you guys aren't looking head and shoulders above anybody.
It's the
They've
most
also-
hated. It's the
We've
most
also
hated.
beat every team
The
that we
most
played
hated team and our
Toronto.
biggest rival. We're going to be hating regardless.
Yeah, but you know, you're not giving it the fair assessment. You think I'm crazy.
If
But
you
that's all right.
actually watch the games and think that they're anything long term, you're crazy.
I don't know. They're the
beat
Bombers.
every-
It's the
We beat
CFL. You don't need a long term. You
Yeah,
need
you
like
don't
3
need
wins
long
to break
term.
up.
You sneak in the playoffs and you get 42 hung on you by Montreal.
Winnipeg
Montreal's a
will
good
win.
team.
Not
Or you
Montreal's a
sneak
good
in the
one.
playoffs in 2019 and you
Gonna be a
fucking go on a
crossover
Cinderella run. You never know.
Winnipeg will win 9 to 10 games. They'll at best be a crossover team, and they're going to get smoked in the East by either Toronto or Montreal. I don't know which. Probably Toronto, but maybe
I don't
they
know
get
if they
so
actually would
playoff
get
team.
smoked
Get
by
behind
Toronto.
that.
They're both kind of mid.
They're
I
mid,
think
but Toronto's just going to get in by default because
I think
Hamilton's
it's
not.
one of those.
And
It's one of
Ottawa's
those
off.
teams that
Hey,
if we
to
lock in at any point, it's gonna be it could be wraps. You
I
never
will
know.
say this: if Hamilton wins on the weekend, they do have a good chance of winning, or not winning, but being like second. Like they would have the season series on us. We don't look necessarily the best. They don't look the best either. But if it ended up in a close situation, like they would have the tiebreaker. So
All right, well, we're skipping ahead in this episode, so let's talk about something more fun. We are going to predict when Ottawa wins a game, and I know there's going to be at least one of you that's going to say they won't, but I'll read you off their schedule. They travel to Montreal, they host BC, they travel to Toronto, they host Edmonton, Calgary, and Hamilton, they travel to BC, they host Toronto again, and then they travel to Hamilton. Where do we think the win is actually going to come? Like, it's easy to say Hamilton. That's not until October. Like, are we going to be watching another month and a half of winless Red Blacks football?
part of me actually kind of thinks they might win this week. And I know it sounds crazy, but like think of all the years Calgary and like Winnipeg would go like 15-3, and who would be one of the teams they lost to? Like a 3 and fucking whatever fucking Red Blacks team, man. Like
The comeback.
exactly. Like it could be this week. I could see that. If it's not, like just randomly this week, because I mean like it's hard to be 0-10. Like it's really hard. And if it's not this week, I think Dinwiddie probably does get his revenge on us in Toronto. Unfortunately. But I just see that going down.
Matthew, what do you think?
I think we're nearing the end of the season. They're fucking like 0-17. They what go to Hamilton and they win their first of the fucking season. Last game of the year. It'll be absolute cinema.
This dude wants cinema.
Well, and Hamilton already has the worst record all time at 1-17.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so
That's what I'm
funny
saying.
for the
Like, hear it
storylines.
out.
Colby, what do you think?
I obviously don't actually think it will happen, but like every week, everyone's saying like, "Oh, this is gonna be the week. Just watch, they'll figure it out," and then they lose in like terrible fashion again. I think we're getting to the point where like they actually could go 0-18. This week they're not going to win this week. I think BC should win. Although last year, I mean, they beat them last year, so they never. They're not going to beat Toronto. I don't see that happening. Edmonton's going to destroy them. Calgary's going to destroy them. And then when you get to Hamilton, they should have a quarterback situation figured out by that point, especially if they're chasing a playoff spot. I could see them losing that. BC Toronto again, like I don't see it. They're just so much worse than every other team in the league. Like obviously chances are they'll randomly stumble into like 1 or 2 wins, but like I can't actually pick out a game that they're gonna win.
Well, I'm gonna start off by crossing off 2 games. I'm gonna start off by crossing off 2 games. I don't believe there is a shot they win. And the first one is this week against Montreal. We watched what fucking Montreal did to Edmonton 2 weeks ago, and we watched what Edmonton did to Toronto last week. And we watched what Toronto did to Ottawa earlier in the season, and I don't know how you could sit there and say Ottawa has a fucking chance. Ottawa's had 2 cracks at Montreal already.
Exactly.
The first one they did kind of keep close, but it was never really that close. The second time, Montreal just beat them pretty well. And not to mention, this game is in Montreal, and I don't think they have anything that can stop the Davis Alexander Tyson Philpott connection. The other game I'm going to eliminate is Edmonton. I fucked up somewhere along the line because they've already played Edmonton twice.
I was gonna say
My
those fuckers get 3 games against Ottawa.
Let me get the schedule for you and see what you did wrong.
Between the Calgary and Toronto game.
But what week is that? That's in like 3 weeks or something.
It's the 4th next game.
They play the Stamps.
Oh, because you freaking. What did you do?
They play the
You just
Lions.
added-
They play
you
the
just
Lions
added a
next
game.
week.
You just added a game that doesn't exist.
They play the Lions next week. Is that what you're referring
I
to?
counted 9. Like I literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 9 games listed, and they have 9 remaining games. Technical difficulties here.
Podcast is washed.
Did you do this? Oh, it's a double header against Calgary, like back to back. Not Edmonton.
Thank you for that.
You're still going to lose both those games. Doesn't matter.
We'll
Well,
figure out one of them.
hey, before I got into my mess ups, my screw ups there, obviously Hamilton's the game a lot of people are going to circle because of the quarterback situation, and Hamilton, especially in that Week 21 game, Hamilton might already be out of it, and that could be the game, as Matthew said. The other game I was looking at was Calgary if Vernon Adams is out long term, and maybe he's not. We'll see next week. But if he is seriously hurt, that could be the game. The other games I'm thinking of would obviously be the BC and Toronto game in the next 3 weeks. It would be so BC like to lose that game. Just when they're starting to get momentum, at home, they lose to the worst team in the league and give them their first loss. Because we all remember how that went last year. That was a game they absolutely should have won, but they blew it in the worst way imaginable. And
Absolute comeback.
And the other game would be Toronto, and it would be in Toronto fashion to lose that game because even when you look at the best years Toronto has had, they've always had at least one stupid loss on that schedule. You look at when they won the Grey Cup in 2024, they got swept by Hamilton, who didn't even make the playoffs that year. Their record-breaking 16-2 season, they lost to a 6-12 Stamps. The year before that, they lost to the 4-14 Red Blacks. Like, even in Toronto's best years, that 2017 season where they won the Cup too, they gave Hamilton their first win at 0-8. Like, even in Toronto's best years, they take the dumbest losses, and this would definitely be a dumb loss to take.
I don't know. I
you
could
agree?
just see it just for Dinwiddie, like random storylines. Just because, of course, it happens. Yeah, we did. I remember in 2022 we played Ottawa and we were at home, and it was just such a disgraceful performance. We put up like 10 points, and I was mad, man. They're like you say, we always just lose these dumb games where you feel like the way it went, your season's over. And then that's kind of what makes the ring so great, to be honest with you, is you lose these fucking games along the way. You think cook you for the year, but yeah.
All right, we've talked about this game long enough. Toronto and Edmonton, I'm just going to be the first to say it. I didn't catch that game. I was at an event to try to watch it on my phone, but TSN Plus is fucking garbage. So I just gave up after it lagged for like the 100th time. Edmonton absolutely dominated Toronto, though, 42-12. And a dominant win against a team destined for the playoffs, as I would say. Has Edmonton cemented themselves as the team to beat in the West? Not that they're gonna win the West, but just are they the team to beat?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say they have to be the easy bar for like the West right now. I mean, you look at, you know, I'm a little less high on Saskatchewan even at this point. You look at the rest of the West other than Edmonton, and I fear they're just below them. Like Sask is the closest team, and if they get into a West final or something, that's going to be absolutely insane. But yeah, no, they're head and shoulders above every team in the West, like other than Saskatchewan, who would be the closest. But those three teams at the bottom, like I don't know, man. Like I get Edmonton's lost to a couple of them, but I really do think like this could be a year they do go to the Grey Cup.
Matthew?
Yeah, I'm have to agree. I think like it's either them or Sask, and like you said, I'm also not that high on Sask anymore. So yeah,
Colby?
I think they kind of like established that they were the team to beat when they won in Saskatchewan in that like insane game. Uh, then like their only three losses, two of them were to like basically the other top two teams in the league, and then the Lions. So like I don't, other than Montreal, like they're definitely the favorites. I mean, like I'm almost tempted to pick Edmonton, Montreal in the Grey Cup because like Saskatchewan's a good team. They got a lot of injuries right now, but Edmonton just has over the course of the season looked like more complete, especially on defense. But they're for sure a team to beat in the West.
It's hard to argue that, and the thing I'm going to circle back to is that the season series is at 1-1, and the very final game of the season, not just their seasons, the CFL season, game 81 is Edmonton and Saskatchewan. And I think Edmonton is the team to beat because I think if either of these teams are going to run away with it before that game, it's going to be Edmonton. But I do think there's a very good chance that it's going to come down to who wins that game, who's hosting first. And God, as much as I hate the idea of our season coming down to game 81, I would love it because it would be cinema if the last game of the regular season determined who got first and second in the West.
And it's going to be crazy when it's a situation where if Sask wins, the Bombers get first.
You're not funny.
Soon enough, it'll be in the news category.
No, I want to talk about Toronto turning the ball over in this game, though. A little ridiculous. We got to clean that up. Even when Kelly's not throwing picks, we're dropping the ball left and right. This is a close game at halftime, man. It's actually really annoying. If offense could have put anything together, the defense actually did play really well. I mean, it says 42 there, but I mean, to provide some context, like they were making stops. They were the only reason they ever had a chance in this game, and the offense gave up the ball like 3 times, maybe even more, dude. Honestly, like I had other stuff to do, and like halfway through that fourth quarter, I was like, I'm piecing for this. So I don't really know how they ended up getting to 42 exactly, but I did see the game basically end. And yeah, no, the turnovers in our own territory was absolutely preposterous. Like that shit was disgusting, and we got to clean that up.
What I had down. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, you must have turned it off pretty early because they actually had 6 turnovers by the end of the game.
Oh no,
They
no,
had
I
2
just mean like the amount that are in like our own territory. Like
oh
we
in
gave up like
in their own
immediate.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the fumbles, right? Receivers
Yeah.
were fumbling like crazy.
Yeah, what I had wrote for the notes was: is this the type of game where you just burn the tape, or is this a sign of things to come?
Oh, you fucking burn the tape. It's no good, man. The play calling's not good. No offense to Coach Mike there. Started off liking him, not really loving him, not really loving him. I get guys are good
Wow.
team. I get guys are good teammates, man. But maybe we gotta get some discipline going here. And that short yardage was looking like Dinwiddie, so I need that all cleaned up.
Ready to turn on him already?
No, I'm not turning on him. I'm just saying, like, honestly, like, we've seen it. We've lost a good amount of games down here, and we just turn the ball over constantly. No matter if it's Kelly or other players on the team, and he's always just coming out here shaking it off like it don't matter. It's like you want to win the Grey Cup, you can't lead the league in turnovers. Like, it's not at a point here. Like, there has to be some sort of accountability. Like, I mean, it is what it is, but.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything they want to add to Toronto's shitty, sucky performance?
Not that, but same game. I do think it's kind of interesting how they've managed to turn Justin Rankin into a literal receiver instead of a running back. He had 4 catches for 61 yards, and at least 2 of those that I saw were like up the seam, like 20 plus yards in the air. So like he's just an insane player.
Christian McCaffrey. Except he's not white. Last game of the week, and can we skip this game, fellas?
Yeah, no, I'd be completely good to skip this game, to be honest. I don't want to talk about it. I woke up hungover on Sunday thinking, wow, somebody's going to get it in Saskatchewan, man. You better fucking finish the job next time you're rolling there to Hamilton, and I need you. I needed you bad.
Oh, see, we were doing good until our kryptonite Trey Ford came in, and then we just forgot how to play football. The same thing always fucking happens. I don't understand it. I unfortunately wrote some notes, so we'll talk about it. Unfortunately, I don't really want to. Has Trey Ford locked in the job as quarterback for the Ticats for the rest of the year?
No, I mean it's kind of week to week. Like it's literally half by half at this point. Whoever's gonna move, like Harrison Frost didn't even look bad in the first half, really. But I mean, as soon as they put Ford in, they started moving the ball more and everything. So it's like can't really take Ford out now. And it's like you look at their stats, like Frost and Ford basically have identical stats from the halves that they played. So I mean, I think they're just gonna go with whatever they're feeling, really. Like I don't even know at this point.
Matthew?
Yeah, I think it's kind of. I don't think it's locked in per se. I think they kind of have a unique situation right now though, where it's like they do have two like kind of decent quarterbacks, so they can just kind of play it as they wish. You want to throw out Ford, get a few more rushing yards, and throw out Frost. He seems to have a decent arm, so I think you can kind of just go with whatever. Like if you're not in a good situation, throw out someone else out there, like Ottawa should maybe be doing. But anyways, that's just my take.
Colby?
I don't think he has. I think overall Frost has probably looked like best overall just from what we've seen. But now he's injured apparently. So I guess Ford has it locked up for like the next couple weeks. But everyone knows that he literally owns us, and for some reason, whenever he plays against us, he is like he basically is like the best quarterback of all time. So beating the Riders is like no indication that he's like actually good. He just kind of owns us.
It's like the Bombers with Nathan Rourke.
Exactly.
Shout out Adam. I don't know what you guys see in Frost. I really don't. I've watched 2 games of his now, and I haven't seen shit from him.
Dude, not everybody is the star of the day. Not everybody, like you were saying earlier, is Chad Kelly, like Fajardo. Like some of these guys are just gonna be like plug and play. Like you're just gonna find like more like, oh, here's another Dustin Crum level player who can come in and make you competitive in a game, and you may not win it, but it's a respectable player to have on the field. Like not everybody's gonna be a star. Like I mean, you can't expect them to
And
just lose their MOP basically quarterback and just all of a sudden like have the same level of production. Like I don't think he's played bad.
you also got to remember that he signed on as quarterback 4 and had like no training camp or nothing. So like he based on that, like he's not doing that bad. And you're comparing him to Trey Ford and Jake Dolegala.
Also, 2 things. One, yeah, he wasn't in training camp, but he has been on the team before. He was on the roster the entirety of last season. So he is familiar with the team, the playbook, and all that. And number 2, it is worth noting before we continue this debate that Bully by Mitchell did post on his Instagram story that the walking boot's off and he's training again. So I don't know. There is something to think about there. If Hamilton's like right there with Toronto in like week 18, they're like tied in the standings. It's going to be really hard to maybe not put Bo out if he's actually ready to go.
I mean, we'll see. It's hard. It's hard to
That would
say.
be
He's still weeks away. Like it would definitely have to be like right at the end of the season. So
Yeah.
that would be pretty crazy though if like Hamilton stays in it and like this dude just comes off the couch and like saves their season.
For what it's worth, he did have a similar injury in 2023, and he did come back in October. Um,
you know what I really
They never
liked
Yeah.
about what
actually
you know what I really liked about what Colby said is he didn't say, "Oh, he's gonna come back and they're gonna win the Grey Cup and there's gonna be a good story." I'm just so glad he left that out because I was getting ready to hear, "Oh, how good of a storyline would this be? Bo comes back, wins the cup." Nah, okay, nah. All right, I
they
hope
were
he's out
never
there. I want
winning
to
it.
see the best football possible, but I'm just glad he left that part out.
They were never winning the Grey Cup even if he's healthy the whole season because Montreal's
I'm
probably
not.
going to win the Grey
I,
Cup.
I mean,
It's hard to say.
Montreal's
I don't-
way better.
Get me
Okay,
wrong.
I would be the first one hating on Hamilton, but I will say I do think they'd be really close with Montreal in the standings right now if Bo never got hurt.
Absolutely.
Like I think they're definitely the second best team with Bo. Like I will say that. But
absolutely.
Oh yeah, I
They
still
were
think Montreal's
fine.
better though.
I
Like,
don't
we
think
gotta
the
keep in
gap
mind-
is as big as you might think it is. Like
Let's not remember the first game of the season was Hamilton and Montreal with a healthy Bo, and Montreal did win that, but it was an overtime winner. And the only reason that even happened is because Carrick Weefball doesn't know how to hold the fucking football in overtime. It's not Bo Levi's fault.
Actually, Bo Levi did throw like an absolute pick six to Robert Kennedy, but we're just ignoring that, I guess.
Happen, but you don't fumble the ball in overtime.
Don't worry, he figured out how to catch a ball this week. So
actually, that wasn't a catch. Slow-mo replay showed it hit the ground.
Yeah, that's a touchdown every time though. Like in every game, that's going to get called a touchdown.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. But that's a conversation for another day.
If it was the NFL, they overturned that.
Yeah, but let's get to this. What went wrong for Saskatchewan?
Ray Ford again.
It's like you said. It's one of those games. You just burn the tape, move on.
yeah.
I've just fully accepted that we're never going to beat Ray Ford. So every time I see him playing against us, I just already move on to next week.
Do you know what's so funny? When I realized there was Harrison Frost, I was going to start the game. I was laughing my ass off because I'm sitting there like, somehow we managed to get through this season without playing Bo Levi or Trey Ford. Bo Levi obviously don't want to play because he makes Hamilton the best team they are. And then Trey Ford just our weakness. So I'm like, somehow we managed to avoid both those fuckers. But nope, Trey Ford had to come in and ruin it all for me. For us. Okay.
Don't worry, he's already ruined other things for me too. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm staring at the calendar and I'm looking at a couple days from now. But yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to that.
I think a huge part of what went wrong for Saskatchewan was 3 picks, and I can't even fault Trevor for any of them. The first one bounced straight off Del Duncan Busby's hands because he doesn't know how to catch a football. The second one, Keyshawn got hurt on the route, so Trevor Harris was thrown to a guy that wasn't running. And then the third one, yeah, it was absolutely his fault, but in the moment we were down 7 with like a minute left, we needed to push the ball down the field, and that's what pushing the ball down the field looked like. Sometimes you're successful, like against BC in the West Final. Sometimes you get picked off. Like, I can't really fault him for any of that, but those 3 picks definitely were killer. The first one set up the very first touchdown of the game for Hamilton. I'm pretty sure the second one set up another touchdown, and the third one just flat out ended the game.
The stats say you only had 2 picks. I think the second one got overturned. And then we punted anyway.
I swear that was a pick. I swear that
no, it says 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Oh.
Guy doesn't watch his own games.
I watched it on this shitty phone, so fuck you.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. Like,
I had no other choices. I should have just turned the fucking game off. Second I saw Trey Ford, I should have just turned the game off. Ugh. Do we want to keep talking about the previews or the recaps? Sorry.
oh,
No, I think we got it covered.
Yeah.
It was a bad week for all of us. Even Matthew, I know his team.
Come on now.
I know his team won, but they look shitty.
Claros almost died again.
Yeah, but then he came back, as he always does. As soon as he looks like he's gonna fucking, it's up for the season. I'm like, yeah, I just watched the last I've ever seen out of Zach Collaros. He comes back 3 plays later. I'm like, all right, sounds good.
Claros is
3 plays.
Claros will either die to the softest hits, or he'll get hit by a train and get back up. Like, it's no in between with this guy. He either goes on the 6th game for the softest injury, or he'll fucking get bulldozed and get up.
Yeah.
The only story we could find this week was that the Ticats released Shamar Bridges. I don't really think we need to talk about that because who the hell cares?
You guys will probably pick him up. So
I wouldn't mind that. He's got potential.
I'd rather Gino.
Well, yeah, but like Bridges will almost certainly be cheaper.
Buddy, it's August. There's no
Eh.
salary cap at this point. Like,
Yeah, but
whatever
Bridges could also
we
could
have,
also turn into like a long-term thing.
then you sign him in the off season.
Well, yeah, but then someone else could get him.
Someone else can get him right now, anyways.
Yeah, but then we'll never get him.
So what are you proposing?
We sign him now instead of Gino because then if he's good, we can keep him around. Gino's just gonna retire anyway.
They're saying to sign him to more.
The 0-9 Ottawa Red Blacks sent home Gino Lewis. I'm just saying the 0-9 Red Blacks looked at him dead in the face and said, "You are not a needle mover." So I don't know, man. You're living in the past.
The 0-9 Red Blacks also moved Drew Brown in favor of Jake Mayer, and I know Drew Brown.
One's a starter, one's a backup right now.
One's a starter in Ottawa. I can start in Ottawa.
But Drew Brown can't.
Because it's Ryan Dinwiddie. Like,
so what? He quarterback whisperer for the most part.
Jake Mayer. He's not the shiniest quarterback, but he is definitely better than Jake Mayer. The decisions in Ottawa have definitely been questionable, to say the least.
I don't have to defend Dinwiddie, so I'm not going to. But
all right, let's preview some games. The first one is Ottawa is traveling to Montreal, and the only thing I wrote on here is how much is Montreal winning by?
Dude, they're getting killed.
I don't know. I really want to say that they're not going to win, but I'll say 10.
So stupid. How much are they winning by, Matthew?
Okay, realistically, it's probably gonna be like, I don't know, 20-25, but like, what it would be to see them win by like a field goal or something like that, you know? But yeah, I'll say 20.
Cool.
They're either gonna win by like 24 or they're gonna win by like 4. But like they're gonna win for sure.
I think I have to side with Colby. It's going to be one of those two options. All right, guys, we've done our mandatory Ottawa talk. Now let's move on to the next game, which is Winnipeg and Edmonton. And we just watched what Edmonton did to Toronto, and now we're going to watch what Edmonton's going to do to Winnipeg. What does Winnipeg need to do to win this game, Matthew?
Like, you remember that god that they prayed to when the wind came in our favor? Like that, what was it, last year, 2 years ago? Like, we need that type of, like, you know, from the heavens, like, type of, like, stuff right there, just to pull off this win. Like, it's not happening. I mean, if it does, whatever, outside interference, thank you, but no, it's not happening. What we will need to do, if there is something, I run the ball, like, because we're just afraid to do that this year, apparently. Last game we did, and it paid off. Yeah.
I'm sorry, my middle finger was distracting me from listening to you. Fuck you for that. I don't like being reminded that we lost the West Division because of a windstorm.
Like I was saying earlier,
I also hate that, but the way that he brought it up was unbelievably funny.
Oh, yeah. All right. Does anyone have a serious note to add to this?
Honestly, like, if you look at how Toronto had no offensive line last week, really. Like, I mean, it was their starting tackles, which was pathetic. Like, those are our tackles. So I can't even say anybody was hurt. Edmonton's a force on defense. Winnipeg should probably pray, and I if the Argos can't move the ball against Edmonton, then I'm sorry, Winnipeg probably can't either. But I will say, if Winnipeg does win, you would have to start talking about the possibility of them getting first. I'm just saying, but they're not going to win this game.
Why do I have to cheer for Winnipeg this week? Because I need Edmonton to lose. I
Oh
don't want
no, it's okay because if Edmonton wins, that means Cody Fajardo's having a good season. That's okay.
I want that, but I also want first place.
We can still get first place. We got lots of time.
We do. I like the thoughts and prayers going out to Winnipeg. They are going to need it. I don't really know what to say. I don't see how they win because Winnipeg is not an offensive unit. Edmonton is a defensive unit. Winnipeg is not a defensive unit. Edmonton is an offensive unit. So this is just like unstoppable force versus moving object or movable objects. So I don't know what to say. I wrote this note myself, and I genuinely don't have any input other than I don't know. Colby,
It's really not a good situation because it feels like most weeks, even if they should definitely lose, you can always think of a reason that Winnipeg might win the game, just because of their like ridiculous like devil magic or something. But like Edmonton is better in like literally every part of the roster. Like the whole defense is better. They have probably the better running back, I would say. They got better quarterback. They got better O line. They got pretty similar receivers. Like Winnipeg is just so cooked, and like
But
the
guess what?
only
They don't have Sergio Castillo.
oh no,
No, but their
we're gonna
kicker's
they're,
just
they're
as
gonna
good.
yeah, like Blanchard is absolutely insane.
he's
He doesn't
arguably
got the aura.
here. He's been killing it.
Like Blanchard is easily a top 3 kicker in the league, no question.
Might be number one this year. Like I know Lowder's
Yeah, I
having
mean,
a great,
because Castillo's kind of like missing all those field goals, you know.
It's okay.
Yeah, like and like
Blanchard's still
Winnipeg's O line is so bad. Like Claros is gonna get sacked like probably like 6
Oh, it's gonna be
times.
brutal.
It's like this is gonna be like especially if you're like a BC or a Calgary fan, this is or like basically any fan, this is gonna be like the most insane Winnipeg hate watch ever. Like they're gonna get destroyed. And they're probably still gonna find a way to win because of the freaking devil magic.
I asked you guys what does Winnipeg need to do to get a win, and three of us said pray and that there's nothing they can do. One of us said devil magic. That sums up the game pretty well. Now let's go to an interesting one this week, which is Hamilton and Toronto. This is the battle for second in the East. Winner will have it at the end of the week. How much impact will this game have in the playoff race totally, Kyle?
Well, Toronto's already lost to Hamilton once this year. So this game means a lot. Like if you lose this game, like you've already lost the season series and it's August. So I say you got to win this game. Just for that simple fact that you need the possibility of playing Labor Day for the season series. Now, I don't rule Hamilton out. They will have a good turnout in Toronto. They they beat us already with this sort of situation. I can't really rule it out. But I do like the Argos at home, just because they've been there all year and they had no business winning that Calgary game and they won it somehow. So I just want to go in with the positive mindset that we're gonna play turnover free. We're just gonna handle our shit for a week and move on. But I don't know, man. I am a little concerned.
Matthew.
Um, I don't really got much to say here, but what I will say is I think that there's still a lot of time left that you can. A lot of the standings could fall differently, but this game obviously is very important, and I would like to personally see Toronto win this one just so that Labor Day is a bit more fun.
Colby?
I mean, like, if Hamilton wins this game, I feel like it's almost enough to kind of lock him in for second, because Toronto has been like very inconsistent like the last month, basically. Actually, since like their loss in Calgary, like it's either like the offense is pretty good and the defense is cooked, or the offense is terrible and Chad Kelly throws 4 picks, but then the defense is crazy and they win anyway. But then last week it was a new one. Chad Kelly didn't turn it over, like his own fault basically, and they lose by 30. So like it seems like every time they figure one part of the team out, something else breaks. But with Hamilton, their defense is solid every week, and their offense is like okay. So I mean, like I want to see Toronto win because it would make Labor Day really fun to watch. But like there's a very legitimate chance that Hamilton wins this, and then they're up like 3 games, two or 3 games, essentially in the standings.
You just basically described Eastern Winnipeg. That's what Toronto is, I guess. I don't think that a Hamilton win would lock it up, but it would definitely put them in the driver's seat. Now, if Toronto wins, then it's going to all come down to who wins Labor Day. So I think the implications are big if Hamilton wins, not so much if Toronto wins, because if Toronto wins, then the big implications go to Labor Day.
Well,
But
yeah, I think that's probably the best way to look at it. Is if Hamilton wins, they control their own destiny. If Toronto wins, they basically fight for a chance at that in a couple weeks. So, yeah, I think that's probably the best way to like just look at it. Is if Hamilton wins, they do control where they go from here, and Toronto would not really have much or as much. But yeah, if Toronto wins, it's just setting up for a even bigger game. So.
yeah, but I don't think that it's over if Hamilton wins, because I think they're half a game up in the standings. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't even. Well, technically, we are ahead of them because they have one more loss than we do.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
half a game ahead.
Yeah.
So a Hamilton win would put them half a game ahead, and they'd have season series, so that's a game and a half, which is somewhat of a big difference. But you also got to consider that even after this week, Hamilton still is in quarterback purgatory, so it's not out of. It wouldn't be unusual if after this week they just lost a lot of games, and that would be an easy way for Toronto to get right back in it because they have their quarterback, they have a healthy roster. So I do think Hamilton would absolutely be in the driver's seat if they win this week, but I don't think it's over if Hamilton wins. Last game of the week, and it's another big one for playoff implications. Saskatchewan is in BC. Both teams open the season against each other, and Sask won a close game. This is a matchup that will be played 3 times this year. So this is game number 2 of 3. Saskatchewan is currently, correct me if I'm wrong, Colby, that we're a game ahead in the standings.
We're 6-3. They're 4-5. So I think it's
Game and a half.
2 games at the moment. We both played 9 games.
Okay, so here's the way it goes: 6-3, 4-5. A BC win puts them at 5-5, and Saskatchewan at 6-4. That would be 1 game difference with the 3rd game later this year, and that would probably be a decision. The way the playoff implications would decide A Saskatchewan win would put them at 7-3 and BC at 4-6. That's 3 games, and you have season series. So that's 4 games. So this is a huge game for playoff implications. We're talking about a 4 versus 1 game difference after this week. So what does BC need to do this week to avoid a repeat of what feels like every Rider Lions game the last 2 years? Shout out, Adam.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll just say like they just need to score. Like if BC is scoring like how we know they really can, like I feel like Sask without the receivers and with how good like BC's run defense has been, it will be really tough for them to get up into those like into those 30s. Now if Sask can get the passing game going, I do feel like um BC is it's going to be a close game either way, especially because they're at home. But I mean, not that that's proven to be much of an advantage. But yeah, um, I guess we'll see. But BC's got the run defense, so I feel like Sass is gonna have to do it through the air.
Matthew.
I think for them to win, it's like they really have no other option besides to just outscore them. Um, I think it's like I mean, it's always close, right? I know that sounded stupid. That sounded backwards, but no, it's gonna be close no matter what. Like every time it is, and I think it is gonna come down to the final minutes. But yeah, like Nathan Rourke's just got to play a really good game, and against Sask, he usually does, but he's just got to play a better game. I guess that's your answer you're looking for.
Colby.
The big issue for the Lions in most of the last couple of years against the Riders, they always start way too slow. Like earlier this season, we went up 14-0 like instantly. Last year we were up like 17-1, like the very start of the second quarter. Even in the West Final, we both started really slow, but like if BC was able to put some points up earlier, they would have gone to the Grey Cup probably. Like if they can lock in on pass defense, like at least for like the first half, and be able to go up like a couple of scores early, like they should be able to manage it. But it sounds like there's a chance that Emilus comes back this week. He's full practice today. So I mean, if he comes back, it's just going to be like a shootout for sure. But Lions just got to not turn it over, and they got to start faster.
It's funny you talk about the start of the game, and I absolutely think you made a good point with the start of the game, but my mind was on the end of the game. You look at the game this year, you look at the West Final last year, the biggest reason why they lost was because they couldn't make the play at the end, whether that was on offense or defense. The Riders were down 4 in the West Final with a minute left, and they drove the field. BC had a little bit of time on offense and didn't make the play. This year, the Riders were down 3, I believe, drove the field, left BC with like a minute. They had time to make a play on offense. They didn't make the play. So it's always, every football game comes down to a few plays, and it feels like these last few times the Lions, the reason why the Riders are winning is because those big plays that determine the game are being made by the Riders. The Lions have got to make a play at the end of this game because I agree with Matthew. This is going to be a really close game, so it's going to come down to who will make it at the end. BC's got to score a late touchdown. BC's got to stop the Riders' offense. Don't allow big plays. Don't allow late scores. Put some points on the board in the fourth quarter. That's what you got to do to win, because that's what you failed to do the last few times. Anything else got anything to say?
It's a tough game.
I'll take that as a no. Oh, sorry.
No, I don't really have much to say. It's just a tough game to pick. I really don't know who's going to win this game.
It'll be an interesting game, and it's even better that there's a lot of big playoff implications involved in it.
Right now on Pick'em, it's 52-48 for Saskatchewan. So like everyone's split on this game.
Yeah.
And
I think
for comparison, it's 96-4 for Montreal.
that's not a good
What is the
comparison, though.
Winnipeg?
But
What is the Winnipeg one?
83% Edmonton.
that's a better
What about
comparison.
Toronto? I think Toronto's winning, right? But
55%. That one's close too.
That one's a good measurement too. But I think that the Riders have owned the Lions in the last 2 years. But I do think the game that I felt the least confident about winning is probably this one. The Lions are hot. They're getting healthy. They have a lot to prove, and they're going to catch us at a bad time. Not saying we aren't going to win. I am going to be picking us to win. But I do think that if there was ever a game for the Lions to finally get through the Riders, it's going to be this one. All right. Thank you guys for watching Canada Gridiron coverage. Go Riders, and we'll see you next week.